The Antichrist cometh, have all the conditions set forth in end-time predictions come together, like unto the planets and the stars aligning to form a pattern predicted, with hundreds of internet prophets piecing together all the bits that make a full, consistent picture of what the Bible talks of. It certainly looks like it. Much of that chatter is inconsistent and just static that we must ignore. But let's have a look at the main clear points which are given to us by the prophets and the Messiah of the Bible, and see if we are really on the brink of Armageddon. 1. Speaking of Armageddon, which is an euphemism used by non-believers for the end of the world. But Armageddon is a battle fought at an actual location on the map. The Valley of Megiddo is in northern Israel, where the battle is fought by the armies of the nations of the world against Jesus Christ's return from heaven to earth, when he reclaims his rule from the Antichrist usurper. This isn't the same end of the world mentioned elsewhere in the Bible, when the earth and its sky are burnt up with fire, purged of all evil, and then recreated as a new heaven and a new earth. But the battle of Armageddon is an end of man's godless, Antichrist rule. A godless rule that has been going on since they conspired together to kill Jesus Christ and take the throne over mankind for themselves. The Bible prediction, the stone which the builders rejected, the same has become the head of the corner, will finally come true. A skeptic could argue that the wars have historically been fought around the area of the Valley of Megiddo. But Israel, a central prophetic country that is necessary to fulfill prophecies, has been absent from the scene for 2,000 years, but is now set to fulfill its place in prophetic history. The restoration of Israel 70 years ago sets the stage for the rise of the Antichrist, world dictator. For the Antichrist to be accepted by the religious people of the world, which is most people, he must fulfill the same prophecies that Jesus Christ fulfilled, which can only happen in the nation and the land of Israel. Like he will be born of a virgin. With in vitro fertilization happening everywhere these days, being born of a virgin is easy. All the AC has to do is ride into Jerusalem on a donkey, on the heels of his fulfilling all the other prophecies. And most of the world will receive him with welcome arms as the new Savior of mankind. Even though Jesus Christ strongly emphasized to his followers that his second coming would see him come in the clouds of heaven, the same way he was taken up from the earth. Many Christians have already been indoctrinated into doubting that fact and are all ready to receive his this new Jewish Messiah. 4. Jewish prophets since Jesus Christ's removal have been predicting and even choosing new messiahs ever since. But without the restoration of the land of Israel, it was impossible to get even the most dedicated Jew to believe, even less the rest of mankind. Number 5. Matthew chapter 24 is a famous list of conditions Jesus told his disciples to answer their question, what will be the sign of your second coming and the end of the age? The list of Jesus' signs is as follows. A. Many false messiahs will come, deceiving many. A Messiah, the Anointed One, is someone who speaks for God on earth, and many leaders of all types in the last 2,000 years since Christ's departure have made that claim. B. There will be wars and rumors of wars. Even though scientists and politicians predicted the end to wars many times, wars have persisted and even gotten worse. Jesus' prediction holds true, while the others fail time and again. Earthquakes. C. Earthquakes and famines. Again, a man in science predicted they would end hunger, and the earth would continue to calm as age would cool its inner core. But just the opposite has been the fulfillment of both of these Jesus' predictions. D. Persecution of Jesus Christ's followers and a falling away by some because of it would happen as the end of the age came closer. It only took a few hundred years for Christianity to be accepted by most of the world. Only the societies of the far eastern countries held on to their ancient religious beliefs. But in my lifetime of about 60 years, we have seen Christians turn from being seen as the good guys and to being labeled the bad guys. As the Antichrist spirit and hate for the God of creation has spread like a mimi cry throughout the world. E. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. While hate for the truth of the gospel has been spreading over modern means of communication, also the gospel itself has spread, fulfilling one of the most important precursors of the end of the age. F. So when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who were in Judah flee to the mountains. Let no man on the housetop go down to take anything out of his house. Many Bible prophecy scholars believe this happens in the middle of the last 7 years, when the 42 months of great tribulation starts. Also when the Antichrist enters a temple, not necessarily the restored Jewish temple, but some important temple in Jerusalem, stops a daily sacrifice, not necessary renewed animal sacrifice of ancient Israel, which is no longer practiced, and declares that he is the long-awaited Messiah. F, of course, has not happened yet, for the Bible further predicts that this AC figure will do many other things, like the mark of the beast. His image also will be broadcast into all the world, so everyone will hear his blasphemy against the God of gods and his boasting of his own greatness. and all small and great shall be forced to worship him in his image, and forced to get his mark, or not be able to buy or sell. So this is the final event that will let everyone know they are making their final decision to believe him or choose Jesus Christ. G. Now learn this lesson from a fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. When you see all these things above, you know it is near, right at the door. This generation shall not pass away until all these things have happened. Is it just a coincidence that Jesus used the fig tree in his parable? The fig tree was one of the trees that represented Israel, the same tree Jesus cursed. After the Jewish leaders rejected him as the Messiah, and soon after 70 years, Israel was destroyed. But now, just about 70 years ago, the country of Israel was restored to fulfill this end of age prophecy, when the fig tree would once again start to blossom, as Jesus predicted. Is the summer of the end here, and the fall time of the harvest about to start? The fig tree, Israel, that Jesus cursed and said would never bear fruit again, has just reached the fall of its first generation, 70 years. That generation that would not pass away before all that is fulfilled started in 1947-48 with Israel's birth. And a generation in the Bible is 70 to 80 years. See Psalm 90, verse 10. Leading Israeli rabbi says arrival of the Messiah is imminent. This was in July of 2015. Of course, these rabbis have always been predicting a new rabbi would come. A new Messiah was about to come upon the scene. But this is the first time in all the other times and things are right for the Jewish Messiah, who would be the Antichrist. Because Jesus Christ, the true Messiah, said he would not return except in the sky, in the same way that he was taken up into the sky. This picture or image of the devil or the beast was recently erected in Detroit, Michigan. It shows that what the times and the signs are here to fulfill these Bible prophecy. This is not necessarily the actual or the exact image of the beast mentioned in the Bible by Daniel, but it shows the signs of the times are here. It is a warning. All these things are a warning that the prophecy could soon be fulfilled. Can it be stopped? Will it be stopped? It all depends on if it is God's timing.